you been dreaming of a trip to Italy? Who wouldn't want to stroll along the canals in Venice, see the Colosseum in Rome, or eat authentic pizza in Naples? Italy is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world for good reason. The country is filled to the brim with iconic landmarks, mouth-watering cuisine, stunning natural scenery, and artistic treasures around every corner. But before you start packing your bags, there are a few important things you should know to avoid some very common pitfalls for travelers in Italy. As amazing as it is, Italy still has its fair share of tourist traps, massive crowds, and potential for food poisoning if you aren't careful. Don't let these issues ruin your vacation. This guide provides tips to dodge crowds, avoid scams, prevent illness, and maximize your time in Italy. You'll learn when to visit, how to book tickets, top sites, where to eat, and how to navigate Italy like a pro. Are you ready to truly enjoy Italy the smart way? Let's dive in. Avoiding the crowds. Plan your visit during off-peak times. The crowds in Italy can be oppressive during the peak summer months of June through August. Instead, aim to visit during the shoulder seasons of late spring and early fall. The weather is mild, prices are lower, and there are far fewer tourists in April, May, and September, October. Avoid weekends as well when huge crowds of locals join the tourists. Schedule your major sightseeing for weekdays when possible. Arrive early and book ahead. Arrive at popular attractions first thing when they open in the morning to avoid the big tour groups that arrive mid-morning. You'll likely have at least an hour of peaceful time before the crowds descend. For must-see places like the Vatican Museums, Colosseum, and Florence Cathedral, book your entry time well in advance online to skip the aggravatingly long ticket lines. Explore lesser-known destinations, skip packed cities like Rome and Florence in favor of charming smaller towns and villages like Lucca, Siena, or Verona that have far fewer tourists. The Italian countryside is waiting to be explored. Even in popular cities, wander off the beaten path down small side streets away from the main piazzas and thoroughfares to find hidden gems free of crowds. Connect with locals. Learn a few Italian phrases so you can make an effort to speak the local language. Tourists who try to speak Italian are rewarded with warmer welcomes from locals, happy to see you make an attempt. Consider a small group tour led by an experienced local guide who can expertly navigate crowds and share insider knowledge. Aim for tour groups with a maximum of 12 people to keep it intimate. Take advantage of timing. Late afternoon is often the least crowded time at major sites before closing. You'll get great golden hour light for photos too. Arrive near closing time to beat the crowds. Dodging tourist traps. Stay vigilant against pickpockets and scams. Keep valuables secure and avoid keeping anything important in your back pocket, especially around crowded tourist sites. Pickpockets often target these areas. Use a crossbody purse or front pocket instead. Confirm taxi rates ahead of time, as dishonest drivers have been known to overcharge tourists. Never hand your camera over to strangers who could potentially run off with it. Carefully choose where to eat and shop. Avoid eating near major tourist attractions. Instead, find local restaurants on side streets away from the main piazzas for better value, quality, and authenticity. Skip the cheap trinkets and knockoff purses sold illegally by street vendors. You're better off purchasing quality souvenirs from local artisans and specialty shops. Be wary of people peddling selfie sticks, ponchos, toys, and other souvenirs around landmarks. Do your research. Only go on tours with reputable, licensed guide companies after thoroughly reading reviews to avoid scams. Make sure any taxi you take has a meter and agree upon the rate before getting in. Men should avoid keeping wallets in back pockets where pickpockets can easily access them. Respectfully negotiate prices. Haggling is common at markets and independent shops, but be reasonable in your counteroffer. Don't aggressively negotiate prices down to unfair levels that take advantage of shopkeepers. Avoiding food poisoning. Practice caution when choosing food and beverages. Only consume bottled water, avoiding tap water or ice cubes. Skip raw or lightly cooked shellfish, which can harbor bacteria, especially in southern Italy. Avoid self-serve salad bars, where vegetables may not be properly cleaned, and ensure cold food is served cold. Send back refrigerated items that are served at room temperature. Make sure proteins are cooked through and avoid unpasteurized dairy products. Carefully wash or peel fruits and vegetables before eating. Use caution when purchasing food from street vendors or kiosks. Come prepared. Bring anti-diarrheal medication like Imodium or Pepto-Bismol in case illness strikes. If you experience any stomach issues, drink carbonated mineral water, which can help settle discomfort. Practice good hygiene. Frequently wash your hands, especially before eating. Carry hand sanitizer with you. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth with unwashed hands. Getting sick can quickly derail an Italian vacation. By taking sensible precautions with food and beverages, as well as diligent hygiene practices, you're much less likely to spend precious time holed up sick in your hotel room. With some simple preventative measures, you can continue enjoying your Italian adventures without disruption. Choosing where to go in Italy. Now that you know how to avoid crowds, tourist traps, and food poisoning in Italy, let's talk about the exciting part, deciding where to go. With so many incredible cities and regions to choose from, it can be tough to narrow it down. Here are some of my favorite areas and tips for each. Rome. Italy's historic capital has ancient sites like the Colosseum, Roman Forum, and Pantheon. Walk through centuries of history and eat incredible pasta. Just be prepared for crowds. Florence, the epicenter of the Renaissance, is utterly magical. Admire Michelangelo's David and the Duomo before feasting on bistecca alla Fiorentina. Venice, get lost down winding canals and pedestrian streets on this one-of-a-kind island city. Avoid summer crowds and beware touristy shops and restaurants on St. Mark's Square. To fully enjoy Italy, dodge crowds by visiting during shoulder season, arrive early, and book ahead. Avoid scams by securing valuables, researching tours, and skipping street vendors. Prevent food poisoning by only drinking bottled water, avoiding raw foods, and being cautious with produce. Does this help give you a better overview of planning a trip to Italy? Let me know if you have any other questions. Like and subscribe Travel Hacks for more videos.